Welcome back to my channel. From the title you can tell this is not makeup related, but this is a story that I've gotten a lot of questions about. A lot of people want me to kind of just like talk about it, because like some people, they know me, but they don't know every detail. They don't know everything that did happen. They don't know everything about my pregnancy that I had. And I thought it'd be a great idea to make a video about it, to actually talk about it, to talk you through the first time I found out I was pregnant to the time you came into this world, the whole journey along the lines. I figured that it'd be a great story to tell people, some of my friends, to tell people that just now are getting to know me. Just let them all just see it in a whole video. For starters, I'm going to let you guys know I am not going to be using any names. Like, I mean, obviously, clearly I'll use my name, my son's name, but I'm not going to be using the father's name, nor any of the family members or doctors that are related to this pregnancy, because I just want to keep their like privacy safe. I don't want their like business out there and people to know who they are and everything like that. So for starters, we will be just saying like the father or my doctor or the nurse or the mother of the father, basically situations like that. We're not going to sit here and blow out the whole names. So if you want to hear about this crazy story, get some popcorn, sit back, and let's get on with the video. So I guess we'll just start out with me finding out I'm pregnant. I ended up being pregnant in high school. I was 3 months into being 16, 3 months into having a new boyfriend. Just a lot of new things, about to get my license. There's just so much stuff going through my mind as a 16-year-old girl in high school, running track, cheerleading, doing all this good stuff. And then I find out I'm pregnant. My first symptoms, you know, a lot of people would say like, well, how did you not know you were pregnant? Just like a lot of people on that one show, I didn't know I was pregnant, didn't know they were pregnant. Like, you don't know, but you do know at the same time. You know, people would say to me, like, when I tell them the story, like, I did miss my period, but I never really had a normal period. Like, it would come so irregularly that it just didn't cross my mind that, oh, I'm pregnant, you know? So like what I did when I found out I was pregnant was I ended up having very, very horrible morning sickness for like a week to 2 weeks straight. Like, it was just so bad. I would wake up every morning. My stepdad would wake me up for school. I would get up, you know, wake up, I would go pee, and then just vomit. Like, it was just straight, just, sometimes there was nothing in the vomit. It was just like water, but it was still vomit. And I did that for at least a week and a half straight, a week and a half, 2 weeks straight. And it started to scare me a little bit, because it, like, I thought it was just like maybe a one day thing, and then it just continuously happened like every single day. And I was like, oh, like, that's not good. So, you know, that was one of the signs. And then if I didn't eat, like, I'm not really good at eating breakfast before I do anything. It's just, I've just never been that way. I like to sleep more than I like to eat. So I would try to sleep longer and then just go to school and be like, oh, a few hours later, lunch will be here. Well, I couldn't do that. If I did not eat, I would feel super sick, like almost throwing up sick if I didn't eat like a Pop-Tart or just something on my stomach to just settle it until lunchtime. Then I started getting the weird smells. Like, I kept smelling everything. And like, some of these smells that I smelled, I don't even think they even exist, but I made them up. I really did. I swear, when I was in one of my classes at school, like, once again, I don't want to really put names, but this girl I sat by, I literally described her smell as a dirty old chicken patty. Like, that's literally what her smell was. Like, that's what I smell. And people are just like, a dirty old chicken patty. Yeah, that's literally what I smell. And that's what I ate like every single day, but like, they're fresh, hopefully. But it's just the smell, my guys. Like, it was horrible. So after the symptoms, everything, you know, I was just like thinking to myself, like, I'm not pregnant, there's no way. So I just kind of just brushed it off a little bit. And then it continuously happened. And I was all like, well, I'm in the process of getting my license, and I just got a car, and I'm just like, I don't want to tell my mom, because like if I tell my mom that I think I'm pregnant, she might tell me I can't get my license, I can't have that car anymore, and then I'm licenseless, carless, and I'm pregnant, you know? And it's just like, I didn't want that. So I waited. I got my license on May 7th, and literally 4 days later, on Mother's Day, May 11th, 2014, I decided to tell my mom that I thought I was pregnant. But I didn't just say it like that. Don't let me fool you guys. I was so overwhelmed. I was in tears. I was just so, I was a mess. I was a mess telling my mom, because the whole time I'm thinking my mom's gonna kill me, she's gonna beat me, I'm gonna die. Like that's literally what was going through my mind the whole time. I'm trying to like blurt this out and tell her I think I'm pregnant. So when I told her, she kind of just looked at me. She's like, what? And I was like, sniffling, whatever, think I'm pregnant. And she was just like, so it's like, yeah, happy Mother's Day. Also, congratulations, you're now a grandma. Like, that's horrible. That's a horrible, like, I guess like it's a good Mother's Day gift, but like not when your daughter's like 16, I guess. But that's what happened. So then she went to Kroger and got like a pregnancy test. She got like 2 pregnancy tests, because clearly you're like, I guess it's like more accurate in the morning, like if you pee on the stick. So I peed that day. She got it like right when she came home, and it came up positive, fast as it could get, positive. And then I did it in the morning just to make sure, and once again did the same exact thing. So we had some trouble on our hands. So I ended up having to tell the father that got me pregnant, my boyfriend at the time. And he was just as overwhelmed and scared and terrified just as much as I was. Not to put in the mention, he is about 7 months younger than I am. So he was only 15 at the time. So I could just imagine, like, I'm 16, he's 15, we're pregnant, like we're about to have a baby. And people are like, well, why didn't you guys wear condoms? Like, plus I was 16, he was 15, like, where would we even get condoms anyways? Like, I was about to go to the store and get a condom. He was about to go to the store and get a condom. Like, my parents clearly thought I wasn't doing anything, so like they didn't buy me no condoms. So yeah, we just no condom, did the thing, pop, baby. We have an interesting conversation that I do want to get into, but I know some people are gonna feel some type of way about it. Believe me, I felt some type of way about the whole thing. It's just when you are scared and you are terrified and you're a young child, it kind of crosses your mind. And I just don't want anybody to bring any negative comments towards this situation that I'm getting ready to talk about, because I did not go through with it. And I just want to be able to tell the whole story and what was happening. He was like, you do what you need to do. He was all like, if you keep the baby, it's okay. If you don't want to keep the baby, that's okay too. He said, irregardless, I'm gonna be here for you. We're gonna do this together. And I was like, okay. Like, that's all I wanted. I just wanted to make sure he was gonna be okay with this whole situation. He wasn't just gonna sit here and leave me. I mean, we were both super, super young, like hella young. I did start looking up abortion videos. I wanna keep everybody in mind, I am totally against getting abortion for myself. I feel like I feel like a girl has their own right to do whatever the heck they want. If they want to go and get an abortion, they can go get an abortion. Me, myself, I don't think, I would never get an abortion ever in my life, because I just don't feel like it's right. But I feel like women do have an opinion and do have a choice with their own body, so they can do whatever they want. So I want to put that out. So I ended up telling my mom that I did want to get an abortion. My mom is totally against abortions, but she said, she didn't really tell me, but she took me there because she wanted to scare me and show me that this is not what you want to do. And it worked. Get in mind, it did work. I don't want to go much into the detail of the abortion. However, going to the clinic, there is protesters like no other. There's protesters saying do not get rid of the baby, everything. That stuff is all real. You see it in movies, it is real. You cannot take your phone into the abortion clinic. You can't have like any type of electronics, anything. They literally have all over the walls like, are you sure this is your choice? You're sure your parents aren't forcing you to do this? No one's forcing you to do this. The baby father is not forcing you to do this. Like, they clearly talk to you and make sure that this is your choice, because it's nobody else's choice but yours to make. And when I got in there, they have a security guard that scans you, basically, like if you're going through security, to make sure you don't have any weapons, phones, anything on you to harm anybody inside of there. Because like I said, abortion is a hateful thing. People do not like it, and there's a lot of protesters. Now, I got in there. I didn't know just to go check up, make sure you're pregnant, go over all the procedures, what's gonna happen if you go through with it. That was like $200, guys. $200 just to go and make sure you're pregnant, get your blood type, do all that good stuff. $200. I looked at my mom and I was like, oh, okay. So, we're just sitting there, whatever. They do the blood work. I'm getting there, getting my blood drawn, everything, making sure I'm pregnant, all that good stuff. I seen someone that I believe just had one, and she looked terrified. When I tell you, she looked like a deer in front of headlights. She looked like a deer in front of headlights. She did not look like she was comfortable. She looked like she was in so much pain. She looked terrified. She looked like she was not even here, like in this world. Like, she looked crazy scared. And I was just kind of looking at her, and I was just like, I started to feel some type of way then. I really did. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I started feeling some type of way. Then they got to the ultrasound, because they ask you if you want to see the baby, like on the ultrasound, and I said yes. And they also ask you if you want to hear the heartbeat. After seeing that little peanut on that ultrasound screen, and also hearing the heartbeat, I'm trying not to cry. I literally lost it. I started crying. I looked at my mom. She started crying. I'm trying not to cry. And I continued to obviously go along with the checkup, whatever it is. They go over the procedure. And once we left that place, I looked at my mom and I said, I can't do it. I said, as soon as I seen that little fish, or whatever he is technically when he's first made, up there, and his heartbeat, I couldn't do it. I literally felt like I was killing a innocent little thing that didn't deserve to be killed. So obviously I did not go along with the abortion, and I told the baby father, and he was completely okay with my decision, and I kept going along with my pregnancy. Now, my pregnancy was pretty easy. I didn't really have much troubles. However, I did not go the whole 9 months, which I will get into later into the video. Now I want to talk about trying to keep my pregnancy a secret and not working out the way that I wanted it to work out. I wanted to keep my pregnancy a secret until I was like gigantically big, really being able to be shown like, oh, she's pregnant, like, oh gosh, I'm so much off the camera. Like, I wanted to keep everything a secret. I'm not even sure how things were getting out, how people were finding out I was pregnant. There was rumors going around, and I literally got so fed up. I was so mad and angry that I ended up just telling people. And I'm gonna be honest, I was probably only maybe 4 months in, 3-4 months in, when people were literally just sitting here just spreading rumors and saying stuff. Like, I only knew for like a month or whatever that I was pregnant until people started finding out somehow. And I don't even know how people found out, because I didn't even tell my best friend that I was pregnant until like a week or so before I like told the world, or a few weeks before I told the world. Like the only people that knew was like my personal family that I lived with and the baby's father. The baby's mother did not even know that I was pregnant, which is another situation I'm gonna get is coming up to talk about as well. I found out that when we had a community pool in like the houses we lived in, and from what my mom was saying, that someone overheard, that personally kind of knew us, overheard us talking about it and ended up telling a bunch of people or telling multiple people, and then people started telling other people, and it's like a snowball effect. It just kept rolling and people kept finding out. Let's talk about my baby's mother finding out that I was pregnant. Now this one was, it was kind of messed up the way he told her, because he decided to send his mom the picture of the ultrasound and just go to football practice. So basically he didn't have to hear her raft, hear her say anything to him, nothing like that. So he basically just sent the ultrasound picture to his mom and my name on it, everything else, and that was it. So then obviously she couldn't get in contact with him because he's at football practice. So she called my mom and they were talking back and forth. My mom's confirming everything, telling her like, yeah, it's true, this and that, how far along I am. And then his mom tells my mom that she's pregnant. And I'm sitting here like, so I'm pregnant? And the father of my child's mom is pregnant with his brother, because she did have a boy, his brother. And I'm like, so my son, his like, what would it be, his nephew is gonna be a month younger than his uncle. And I'm just sitting here like, I was in a shocker. Like, I was just so shocked at this point, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like, we're both pregnant at the same time. So that ended up happening, and you know, his mom, she wasn't really mad about the whole situation. I mean, there's nothing really you can be mad about. Everything's already done and said. Everything's done. Like, I'm already pregnant. Like, it's no going back now. And you know, pregnancy went pretty smooth. I don't really have much to say throughout the pregnancy. I did end up going to school like part-time during the school, like actually at the school, and then I did majority of my classes online. I got pregnant in the sophomore year, beginning of junior year, and ended up having him at the beginning of junior year. And people always ask me, like, I've just been asked questions recently as well, like, was you embarrassed? Like, how did you feel? Like, what was going through your mind, you know, knowing you're like 16, still in high school, and you're pregnant? You know, I did, and like the answer is I did feel some type of way, like being in high school, being pregnant, walking around with this big belly, you know, but there's like nothing that really could hurt me, like, oh, she's pregnant. Like, yeah, I mean, I am. Like, I didn't feel as bad because there was other girls. There was, like, we had this class called Grads, which is like a mom class, like mom lessons and everything, which I took since I found out I was pregnant to the time I graduated high school. I was in this class, and the teacher became like really like close to me, and the girls in there came very, very close to me, and we all kind of just got through it all together. And you know, it made it a lot easier, I think. I feel like it did. My friends, or friend that I really had, I didn't have much friends in high school to begin with, and being pregnant, I really didn't have much afterwards. But they helped me get through it, and there wasn't much you can really say about that. Like, it's kind of like a one-time thing, like, oh, she's pregnant, and then now that she's not pregnant anymore, she just, oh, she has a kid. Like, I do think a lot of people did look at me differently after I did get pregnant, though, and had a baby. I was I was the quiet girl in school. I like all the way up until this situation happened. No one ever thought that I would be the one to get pregnant. No one ever thought that I was gonna be this girl, technically this. No one ever thought that. And I didn't even think that, to be honest with you. I thought I was gonna graduate high school, I was gonna go away for college, you know, hopefully run track or do some type of sport, do something in like college, you know, just have a fun time. And God had different plans for me. And I mean, I'm not mad about the whole situation because things do happen for a reason. However, it would have been nice to like, you know, get pregnant later in life, but I am happy with what I got today. I'm happy with my son, even though he drives me completely insane. I am happy where I'm at. Also, I did want to talk about, kind of rewind a little bit back. I was talking about how I did cheerleading and track, well, like through this situation. I was done with cheerleading by the time I found out I was pregnant, but I ended up running track while I was pregnant. Which is crazy because like some people, like most people, some people do it. Like there was a girl I watched the video, she was like 8 months pregnant and she was getting it. Her belly out and all, she was getting it. And I ended up running track, and nobody knew at this time that I was pregnant. So like I couldn't tell people. But like I really thought I was gonna have to, cause like when I was trying to talk about getting an abortion, it was like during districts week and like all that good stuff. And I was gonna have to take that week off because like you have to like do like a certain time of days off because it's technically like a surgery. And that was gonna be kind of hard to tell people and like kind of explain. So I ended up not doing that, ended up running track, ended up actually PRing in everything that I ran when I was pregnant. Don't know how, but I did. And I just feel like that's like a really highlight of my high school career. Like I ran track and pregnant. Wait, I ran track and pregnant. I ran track while I was pregnant, right? Yeah. Okay, so now I want to talk about my birth. I had an easy birth. I was in labor I was having contractions, like real life contractions, for about a week straight. Ended up, when my water did end up breaking, I was in labor for 4 hours, pushed maybe 8 times in like 15 minutes, and maybe less than that, to be honest with you guys. And he arrived. The week before he did arrive, I was in the hospital. They did end up giving me steroid shots in each butt cheek. One the night I went in there, and then one the next morning before they dismissed me because the contractions had slowed down and stopped for the most part. They also did give me multiple medicines to try to slow down my contractions, to stop the labor, which worked for a little bit, and then my water broke. I was put on bed rest as well for that whole week. I wasn't allowed to go to school, anything like that. I had to basically lay in bed, stay on the couch, stay off my feet, try to do everything I could to stop the labor, for stop him, just basically coming early. Clearly it did not work, and I ended up having him a week later. On October 24th, 2014, I want to say at 6:50 p.m. Now I want to talk about the labor a little bit more in detail because the labor itself, is interesting. So I'm sitting here, laying in bed, watching TV, eating popcorn. I crave popcorn like no other when I was pregnant, by the way, also. I'm just sitting here eating popcorn, and I feel water, just come out of me. And I'm sitting here I didn't sneeze, so I know I did not just pee on myself. But I'm sitting here thinking, did I just pee on myself? Did I legit just sit here and just pee on myself? So I get up, go downstairs, because the bathroom upstairs is currently occupied by somebody. So I went downstairs, I sat down to try to pee, and no pee was coming out, but there was liquid coming out, but it wasn't pee. And I was like, I said, oh my gosh. I was like, I think my water broke. So I walked upstairs, just calmly as could be. I mean, whatever. I looked at my mom and I said, Mom, I think my water just broke. And she looks at me like, what? Like, your water just broke? My stepdad's like, your water just broke. I'm like, yeah, I think so. I'm like, I got liquid coming out of me and it's not pee. I think my water just broke. So I'm sitting here on the chair, just chilling, waiting for the doctor to pick up. The doctor says, get her to the hospital now. And like basically asking me like, how far are the contractions apart? I'm like, I don't know how far the contractions apart. Like, I didn't even know I was going into labor. Like, I didn't know what was going on. You know, I'm still 16 at this point. I'm supposed to be 17 and I'm 16 because he decides to come 7 weeks early. So we ended up heading to the hospital. And the hospital is about 25 minutes away from my house because I decided to have it. The doctor only delivered at Kettering hospitals, and the closest Kettering hospital was the Kettering hospital at the time. So we are on the way to have a baby. And when I tell you guys, when they say them contractions get worse when your water breaks, they get worse when your water breaks. Like the contractions I was having all week, they were simple, you know. I didn't even know what was going on, to be honest with you. I thought he was just moving. I thought he was just, because he moved a lot. I thought he was just moving. There were contractions, but when that water broke, them contractions got so much fierce, so much stronger, that I was like, oh, like this is what this feels like being in labor. I was like, okay, I think I can handle this a little bit. So I get to the hospital. For starters, we parked in the parking garage, whatever. My mom didn't even think about just letting me off, because I mean, I'm 16, I don't know what I'm doing. So we get in the parking garage, and usually there's wheelchairs, like when you get to the elevator section. There was no wheelchairs at the elevators. There was none. So I'm sitting here, I already soaked through my clothes. Like, from the car ride there, I already soaked through all my clothes through the water. Excuse me, from my water breaking. We got into the elevator. The elevator took like 5 minutes just to come down and then take us up. And then finally when I get up there, the guy's like, oh, do you need help? Like, no, I'm just having a baby, but I'm good. Thanks, you know, I just got water all down myself. So when I get to the baby unit, the maternity unit, whatever, they tell me to put this little gurney gowny thingy on or whatever, and they had to like test to make sure it was my water that broke, everything like that. It came back positive, like, yeah, my water's there, it's gone. I'm in labor. They finally get me into a room. I was only there for maybe like 15, probably about, I want to say about 20-25 minutes. I was there. They finally got me into a room. I'm freaking out because like this day I was supposed to go to watch the father. He had a football game and I was going to go watch it. Well, clearly that's not what happened. So I didn't know if we were gonna have this baby, how long it was gonna take to have this baby. So I wasn't really worrying about calling the father at this time to tell him he needs to get here. So I kind of just chilled. Like, I texted him. I told him, like, I'm at the hospital. My water broke, but they don't know how long it's gonna take for the baby to get here. And he's like, okay, you know, conversation. And I think we ended up texting his mom as well, or my mom texted his mom to let them know and all that good stuff. And then they finally put me into a room. I'm sitting here. Now, I know if you see videos and movies and stuff, like, there's girls in there, like, screaming and crying and just being super dramatic. I mean, some people might be like that, but, like, me, when I was sitting there in labor, it was just very uncomfortable. It wasn't more so painful, it was just super uncomfortable. Like I would get a contraction, then it would stop, and then here it comes again, and then it would stop. Like, it just gets tighter, and then it just like kind of releases. And it was just super uncomfortable. Like, so I was turning back and forth multiple times on the bed. Not once did a tear drop out of my eye. Not once did I scream, not once anything. And this was before the epidural. I was in pain for a good 2.5 hours before I even got it. So a few more hours go by. The doctor shows up. They check to see how far dilated I am. And also I did not mention, I was dilated to, I believe it was 3 centimeters. And I was in phase 75% for that whole week straight. I was having contractions, which is crazy. That's why they put me on bed rest. So get back into the whole story. I ended up being dilated pretty far, and they ended up giving me an epidural. I don't remember how far you had to be dilated to get an epidural, but I ended up getting the epidural. And people are like, well, how'd that go? Like, honestly, I didn't feel anything. Like, I watched a video. I watched a video the other day of an epidural going into somebody's back, and I was like, oh my god, I'm like, that's what went into my back. I didn't even know. But they like kind of like make you like take a pillow and you kind of like lean over and they like put it in your back. But they try to do it when there's a contraction going on, so you're focusing more on the contraction than you are on the epidural. But like, I really wasn't focused on either one at this time. I was just kind of just chilling there. I mean, I could take pain pretty well, and I took it very, very well. So once the epidural got put into me, I stopped feeling everything. It felt amazing. Like, it literally felt like from up here, like underneath my boob area and like down to my toes, I felt nothing. Like, I literally felt paralyzed. I didn't feel anything during that time. No. I basically felt paralyzed. I finally ended up calling or texting and telling my baby father, like, you need to get here now. He's coming in the next few hours. You need to get here. And I don't remember who it was, but they were basically in the locker room. Like, they were all suited up, getting ready to go, like, ready for the football game. Like, they were ready. Like, it was about time to be kickoff. And all I remember someone telling me that when that happened, when I messaged him and told him, like, he's coming, someone said he, like, hit the locker or, like, did something to the locker, and this, like, basically was just crying. Like, I was like, oh. Like, I don't know, to this day, I really don't know if he was, like, just kind of, like, upset because he was coming early or what the situation was, but I just know that he was definitely in tears. And yeah, so he ended up, him, his mom, I believe his aunt, his grandma, they all ended up showing up to the hospital. I believe everybody besides his aunt, I want to believe, was in the delivery room when he came. I honestly, at that point, I didn't care. We had like so many nurses, so many doctors. They were all just standing around me. My legs, my whole dignity is just kind of out there because they put your like little legs up in this little stirrup, which they try to make me put my legs up in the stirrup. I can't feel anything here down. And they're like, can you like put your foot up in the stirrup? So like, I'm putting my foot up there and it just falls because like, I can't feel it. And I just like start dying of laughter. Like, I'm literally in labor and dying of laughter. Like, I'm just laughing. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm a psychopath, but that's okay. So doctor gets back there. I start pushing. My mom's down there taking pictures. I'm over here just pushing. Baby daddy's trying to watch, but he ended up seeing a glimpse of it, then turned his head back away, couldn't watch it. I got people watching it and everything else, and it's like probably a good 8 pushes, and you hear a crying baby. And so they end up putting him on me. I'm sitting here like, what do I do with it, basically? I'm like, he's all slimy and disgusting and like just came out of me, and I'm just like, ew, like kind of like ew. So his father ended up cutting the umbilical cord, you know, that good stuff. I got to see him. Then they ended up taking him over, doing everything they're supposed to do, like clean him up, give him that shot, like the K shot or something like that, whatever type of shot they're supposed to get as a baby. All that good stuff, kind of wipe him up a little bit, and then give him back to me. But at this time, people were just taking pictures, everything else. I'm like, I felt the placenta more than I felt him come out. Like, that's literally how like crazy it was. He ended up being 4 pounds, 10 ounces, and I believe he was about 18 something inches long, but he was also 7 weeks early. You know, and then at this time, like, everybody's taking pictures, everything else. I get on my phone to check it real quick, and my best friend, like, sent me this, like, long message, like, maybe 10 minutes ago, like, not even 10 minutes ago, and was talking about, you're gonna do so great, blah, 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 like, giving me, like, this encouraging, like, speech, and, like, this loving speech. And then I text her, I'm like, he's here. Like 10 minutes later, she's like, what? Like, she's like, he's here. Like, you've only been in labor for like not even that long. I'm like, yeah, he's here. And she's like, oh my gosh. And since he was 7 weeks early, they ended up putting him in NICU. He ended up being in NICU for about 3 weeks. This is like a touchy topic because I was not happy about anything that happened when he had to go to NICU. So like I said, he was in NICU for 3 weeks. He was gonna be able to come home a little bit earlier than expected, but he ended up getting what they call a rhinovirus, which is like basically like a cold. Every time he would eat, his oxygen would drop. And I'm sitting here thinking like, well, nobody that's came to see him has been sick. So clearly one of you nurses have got him sick. And that kind of irritates me because I'm 16. And then on top of this, before I found out he ended up having like a rhinovirus or a cold or whatever, they kept telling me different days. Like, oh yeah, he's gonna come home today. Or he might be able to come home tomorrow. Like telling me multiple days. And I'm 16. I just wanna let y'all know I'm tired at this point. I am exhausted. Like when I left the hospital and I couldn't take him home, I did lose it and I cried a lot. And the father of his father was there for me. He tried to support me as much as he could because he knew how I was feeling. I mean, the hormones were just ridiculous, and then having to leave and not being able to take my son was the hardest situation I've ever dealt with. And I literally would wake up like probably 9 in the morning, might even earlier than that, anywhere from 8 to 9 in the morning, wake up, go to the hospital, stay there till like 12, leave. The father would come by after practice or before practice, I think it was after practice, see him, he would leave, and then I would come back there at like 9 at night and stay there till like 12 or 1 in the morning, and just repeat that every single day until he came home. And everybody's like, Kayla, you really need to go home and you need to sleep. They were like, you're not gonna get any sleep once he does come home. You need to go home and sleep and get the sleep that you can. I wasn't eating, I wasn't drinking, I was trying to breastfeed, I wasn't producing enough milk. It was a very stressful situation that I had to deal with at such a young age. I ended up getting diagnosed with postpartum depression and ended up having to be put on medication for it because I wasn't violent to myself, but I was violent to everybody else. I was so violent to everybody. And this is even after we brought him home, I was such an angry person. I didn't even know what the deal was. I had to be put on medication because my mom was scared that I was gonna hurt the baby. I was gonna hurt somebody seriously bad. So I ended up getting put on medication, and it ended up helping me control everything, control my emotions. The whole pregnancy story, majority of everything that happened during my pregnancy. However, me and the father are not currently together anymore. He went his separate ways and I went my separate ways. We are still very, very civil when it comes to our son, because if we can't be a family, technically being civil to make sure the family does seem like it's still like a family and put together is what we'll do to make sure our son grows up happy and not hating one of us, because that's the last thing I would want, is for him to hate me because I don't like his dad, or his dad to hate me because he doesn't like me. So we keep everything really simple. We have grown up and matured a lot over the years. There has been difficult times throughout the years with parenting, but we have seemed to get it down very straight packed, and we try our best each and every day to work as a team to make sure he grows up. I figured we should end this video by showing you my child, my bundle of joy that gets on my nerves every single day.
Right here.
Come here. Come here. This is Andrew. You say hi.
Hi.
This is my pride of joy that is literally the size of me now. How old are you going to be this year?
5
You're going to be 5, huh?
p.m.
He's going to be 5 years old in October, and it's crazy because I just felt like I just had him. I'm going to cry. He's my baby. He's my baby. He is a, you're a character, huh? That's what you are. You're a character. He will be starting preschool soon and then kindergarten next year. And I love him very, very much. You love me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love you.
I am.
So, if you like this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. You do it. You do thumbs up. And subscribe and turn that little bell notification on so if I do post any videos in the future, you guys can know. And this is my pregnancy story when I got pregnant at 16 with this baby. See you guys. So see you guys.
See you guys.
Dad.
Dad.